Who doesn't know Mario? Mario's been around for quite a while now. I think almost 40 years has it been since he first debuted in Donkey Kong in 1981. And pretty much since then, and especially when Super Mario Bros. Came out in 1985, the Mario as a character in the franchise has pretty much been internationally known as one of probably the most famous brands, currently speaking. And of course this year, we've had the new Mario movie, which I of course saw when it came out, and that was really awesome. Right now we're in a golden age of video game movies. Even if critics don't like them, but hey, we like them, even if some of them, they could be better. But, the Mario movie was good. But, as you probably know, there was another Mario movie. And I'm going to look at this one, because I've never seen it. I saw clips of it as a kid, and I thought, that looks like absolute crap. I pretty much have been a Mario fan my whole life. I love the Mario games. I always go back to them. If you're looking at a Mario game right now that I love playing, this is not my footage, by the way. That will be in the description. So go check that out if you want to see more of this footage. But yeah, Mario Baseball is the best, and Mario is one of the best characters. There's so many games, so much to play, so much to love. There's even other media, but not as much as you think. It's mostly just a lot of video games. Because of this movie. This movie came out in 1993. The original script was going to be a dark fantasy, which what Nintendo signed on for, but then, since they had no creative control, because I guess they trusted Hollywood too much, the script got changed so drastically that it barely has anything to do with Mario. But we'll see if does that make it a bad movie or a good movie. Now, keep in mind, even though this one came out in 93, it's technically not the first Mario movie ever made. Because there was an anime movie in the 80s that was only in Japan. It was either theatrical release only, or not theatrical release, but home TV only, or media only. I don't really know. I think I'm going to do that next, but right now we're going to look at the original Mario movie from 93. And we'll see if it's good or not. So the movie starts out with these awful pixel graphics that look really bad. There's a skunk there for some reason. Skunks did not exist with the dinosaurs. And the biggest problem with this movie that I have is that there is so much bad science, especially evolution science. So of course the stuff that I know about is done terribly. There is really no dinosaur fossils in Brooklyn, by the way, but the whole point of the movie is that there is, which is really, really dumb. Yeah, there's a weird obsession with dinosaurs in the movie. The whole movie starts out, what if dinosaurs are alive? Huh? That's not what Mario is about. What the fuck? There's like one dinosaur in the whole Mario franchise. Well, a species of dinosaur, Yoshi. And there's a dinosaur island, but whatever. They went full swing to the dinosaur aspect because of Jurassic Park. So we just see the Mario Bros. In their crappy apartment, and here's what we get to our first thing I'm going to do in this review. So we're going to see the comparisons, because it's going to be fun to see how this movie decides to translate the famous Mario entities. And of course, let's start off with Mario and Luigi, our main characters, and boy, do we got a lot to say about these guys. Our first character is Mario, who is probably the only character I think is well casted, because they don't look too far off. Bob Hoskins is a great actor, and he can pull off a Brooklyn accent, which isn't technically an Italian accent, but I guess in this movie it works. Unfortunately, this outfit you see on the left does not appear until way later in the movie, though it doesn't really help the fact that Luigi looks nothing like this game counterpart. Also, you couldn't tell, I'm using artwork from that time period, so the latest game being Super Mario World. I think there's other spin-off games, but it came out in 93. This is the art game they're working with. Yoshi's in the movie, so I'm going to base everything based off Mario World. If that makes any sense. So all the artwork's based from that. Luigi, not only does Luigi not, played by John Leguizamo, look anything like his video game counterpart, he also doesn't look anything like Bob Hoskins' Mario. There are different ethnicities, different age brackets, and like, huh? They explain it later in the movie, but it's really stupid, so we'll get to that when we get to that. He's not wearing the costume like Mario is in this picture, because that's the official image I found on the Mario wiki. But whatever, it's the same thing as this, but in green. It doesn't look right. So there's gonna be this fossil excavation in this area of New York, because that makes sense. I looked it up, there hasn't been any records of any fossils being in New York City at all, because the way where it's located, it's on this swampy area that's a kind of watery, meaning that any fossils probably got washed away if they were there, because it's just a thin stretch of land for anything to be there. But whatever, this movie doesn't care. Introduced to our next character, our main female lead, and it's not Peach, it's Daisy. Yeah, that's very odd because at this point she's only been in one main game, which is, for that main game, it's not even a main console. It was a Mario Land on Game Boy, and one spin-off game, NES Open Tournament Golf. And yeah, Daisy is such an odd choice to be the main female lead of this movie because, like I said, she has only been in one Mario game, really, other than the one spin-off game, and in that game, it was only on the Game Boy. So, and at this point, the Game Boy has been only around for around 4 years. And Mario Land is like the most well-known Mario game. Some Mario fans might not even know it exists, to be honest. So it's kind of an odd choice, especially since Peach is the one that everyone knows. Or at this point, in America, she was known as Princess Toadstool. I guess that name was too weird. Of course, if you don't know, Peach's name in Japanese was always Peach, but first in America, we called her Toadstool until Mario 64. The same thing happened with the character Eggman, but everyone got pissed off when he got his name changed. Whatever, I like Eggman better than Robotnik, sue me. Another one, I'll mention this later, is Bowser is always been known as Bowser in America, but he's always known as Koopa in Japanese. But in this movie, they call him Koopa. I don't know why, because he's always been known as Bowser here. But whatever. So yeah, Daisy doesn't get paired with Mario. I guess that's the reason why, but yeah, she's only been with Luigi in one game, really, and I guess hinted at in the NES Open Tournament based on some artwork, but other than that, they weren't really paired up before. So it was an interesting decision. And yeah, you're probably wondering what the hell Mario gets. Does Mario get Peach? No, not at all. We are then introduced to these amazing characters known as Spike and Iggy. Yes, Spike and Iggy, and they work for Bowser. So Iggy here is named after one of the Koopa kids. Oh, of course, Iggy Koopa, who looks like this in game. Very well casted here. He looks very much like his game counterpart. Be my very much, I mean not at all. And then, for some reason, even though there's 6 Koopalings, they decide, hey, you know that guy in Mario 3 that throws some balls? Yeah, Spike! Yeah, Iggy and Spike. And these are like main characters, too. You ever thought you'd see a Mario movie where 2 of the main characters are Iggy and Spike? Well, hey, you ever see a FNAF movie where the cupcake does most of the damage? Well, we have that, too. Anyway, these 2 guys are perving on Daisy, or I guess not, because they're trying to kidnap random women who are supposed to be the princess of another dimension. It makes as much sense as my sentence just said. So Luigi sees Daisy, and he instantly becomes a simp for her, and like tries to go on a date or some crap like that. And yeah, it doesn't really matter. So the Mario Bros go on a double date, and yeah, this woman is Mario's girlfriend, I guess, and do you think, can you guess what character she is? Like, is she Pauline, or is she Peach? No, she's Danielle. So even though this character is not from the games, it's hard not to make a comparison to either 2 of these famous Mario characters, because it's so weird that they made up this character when Mario already had 2, technically, love interests at this point in time, and still to this day. So instead of using one of these 2 characters, and surprisingly, Peach is not in this at all, they're like, we'll make one up, you know. They could have just used Pauline, it would have fit the bill. But, I don't know, the people who made this movie weren't the best with their Mario lore. Let's just say that. So there's also another plot point they bring up here that is so shockingly dumb that I had to play it for you.
Because Mario here brought me up. He's been my mother my whole life. Hey. My father. He's been my father, my uncle, my brother, everybody.
Yes, if you couldn't tell, even though this movie is called the Super Mario Bros. And their company is called Mario Bros. And they refer to each other as brothers, they are not brothers, they are father-son.
Father-son. Father-son?
So, Bowser's minions, I don't keep saying Bowser because it's so weird saying Koopa. They kidnap Mario's girlfriend instead of Daisy because they're stupid, they have shit for brains. And they get sucked into this portal here, like this lovely portal. Here, they jump in because they gotta save Daisy, who got kidnapped by them. Again, those Spike and Iggy. Why is the 2 main goons Spike and Iggy? What the fuck? On the other side of the wall, it's not the Mushroom Kingdom, it's Koopa City in alternate universe Brooklyn, where instead of humans evolving from primates, which we still are apes, they evolved from dinosaurs or lizards. Does that make any sense, evolutionary? No, because if you don't know anything about evolution, and you don't know anything about trains, I'm saying that because there's knowing a train outside, But no, dinosaurs technically did evolve into modern day animal. They're called birds, you fucking idiots. Learn evolution. Evolution doesn't work that way. Why would they become humans? Why? Alright, so we are introduced to our main villain, Koopa, who is, I guess, in love with Harry Potter's aunt here. So, I don't even think I have to explain why this is a, very awkward. One is because Koopa, compared to Bowser, is kind of very different. Bowser isn't the most intimidating villain, but he has a cool design, because his whole thing is that he's in love with Princess Peach, is his main character, and he wants to take over. He's a little incompetent, but he has a whole army, and he is intimidating and is very strong. Now, Koopa also wants to take over, but he's lame. He wants pizza. He talks like this the whole movie. He's got a crappy haircut. He's also an evolved version of a T-Rex, despite the fact that Bowser is a turtle, ox combination, wherever the hell Miyamoto wanted him to be. Everyone calls him a turtle, but apparently he's a combination of an ox, too, but whatever. But yeah, you can see that if you take this, and you turn it to this, you messed up. Also, the fact that Dennis Hopper's own daughter made fun of him for being in this movie is hilarious. So this woman steals this necklace that Daisy had, that Mario had, then some bullshit like that. And this is also a Mario character. Can you guess which character it is? Why? It's everyone's favorite character, Big Bertha. No, seriously, why of all characters would you make one of them based off a fish enemy that appears in Mario 3? That got his name changed to Big Cheep later on. I don't know why they didn't keep the name Big Bertha, but it's such a weird thing. It would have been made more sense if they did Birdo, because you can name whatever character you want for this character. Does these correlate? One's a fish and one's a human, or, oh, not human, an evolved dinosaur. Get the fuck out of here. Hey, you want another bastardized version of Mario character? This guy who has a terrible haircut, singing terribly on guitar, it's Toad. Yeah, you know Toad? Do I have to say anything? Does these two look anything alike? One is an evolved dinosaur that becomes a Goomba later on, and one's a little mushroom guy, who is a servant of the Mushroom Kingdom. But as you know, the Mushroom Kingdom doesn't exist in this universe, so yeah. It's just so weird that Toad gets this weird cameo in this movie. This movie is so weird when it comes to making an adaptation of the Mario games. That's all I can say. So Mario and Luigi get arrested alongside their buddy Toad, because they're with him, I guess. We get one of the dumbest scenes in the movie that became so infamous in the Mario community because of how weird it is.
Name? Mario. Last name?
Mario.
Okay, what's your name?
Luigi.
Luigi?
No, Luigi Mario.
Okay, how many Marios are there between the two of you?
There's three. There's Mario, and Luigi Mario.
So if you're not confused, their last name is Mario. And some fans actually think that's their last name to this day, because they're called the Mario Bros. Did you really need to get explanation for why they're called the Mario Bros? Couldn't it just be one's the main guy? That's why I always thought, but no! It's because both their last names are Mario! So our heroes get to meet, Bowser, or Koopa, in this movie. And now usually when our characters first meet their villain, there's usually some intimidation going on by the villain, but because the villain is really bad in this movie, he's more intimidated by the Mario Bros over him intimidating them, because he's that bad. Also, keep in mind that not only is he supposed to be intimidating, but he's also supposed to be like the king of this land, basically. But he's so unintimidating that these guys aren't even scared of him, because, I mean, they're probably laughing at his terrible Max Headroom haircut there. So he has this de-evolution ray, which doesn't make any sense. Like, how do you can't really do that, because that doesn't make any sense. So Toad here gets a really bad special effect going on, where the end result is none other than one of the most infamous things I saw as a kid. I was like, what the heck is that? That is not a Goomba. I don't think I have to say anything here. One is a weird dinosaur thing with a weirdly weird smirk. It's a good special effect, but not the best design. Also, a really weird interpretation of a little mushroom guy who's a little angry. It's kind of a very odd decision. Like, this movie really probably should have been its own entity at this point. It would have made more sense, because if you're cashing in on a franchise, but you're so distinctly different from that franchise, you might as well be your own thing. I mean, does that make any sense? It's not like it's modern day. This is the 90s. You could have done something original at this point. It's like a modern day where you have to remake everything over and over and over again. You know what I mean? So Mario and Luigi easily escape, and really, the stakes are very low. Well, they're trying to do something, it's free a city, but the fact that the guy who runs the city is so incompetent and sucks, it really makes the stakes incredibly low. Like, you already know they're going to win because the main villain sucks that bad. You then get a pretty cool chase scene in some of this unique cars. The special effects and the set design isn't bad in this movie, but like I said, it's very little to do with Mario. It would have been a much better movie if they just made an original film. But of course, they had to cash in on the Mario license, and at the same time rip out Jurassic Park, and at the same time have weird evolution stuff that makes no sense if you know anything about evolution. So there's also a lot of this fungus stuff going around. It's like some guy turned into a mushroom. It doesn't make any sense. So the previous king of the land, which makes... they don't really go into explanation of how that even works, became a mushroom, and he's kind of helping them out the whole time, I guess. It's really dumb, and it's just a really crappy way of getting, oh, there's mushrooms in the movie, technically speaking. You get the fuck out of here. In fact, there's a line where King Koopa's like, and you're creating your own mushroom kingdom. I was like, that sucked. So one of the dumbest things is that he has to make his minions smarter, so I don't know why he couldn't just get smarter people. So they use the re-evolution ray to make them smarter. And of course all this does to make them betray King Koopa, which they act the same, by the way. They say, oh, we do the generic math equation that they always do, which is really stupid. Oh, it's so badly written. For some reason in this scene, Luigi's shirtless. I guess they thought, hey, maybe we'll get some sex appeal in here. And spoiler, it didn't work. We are then introduced to another Mario character. This character serves no purpose other than the fact, like, you remember this character from the game? And in case you're wondering, this character is Yoshi. Yoshi was a pretty new character at this time, being only like 3 years old, or 2 years old if you're from North America, because New Mario World came out in 91. But anyway, at least he's a dinosaur like he is in the game, though there's some weird thing that he's not a dinosaur. I don't really get that. It's just very odd. I guess Yoshi's a Yoshi. But yeah, there's Yoshi. I guess it's someone read a description, he's a cute dinosaur, just made a dinosaur that I guess is a baby. It doesn't make he doesn't serve any purpose in the plot, much like the new Mario movie. Seriously, where was Yoshi in the Mario movie? He was in the trailer and they're like, nope, he's gonna be in the next movie. I wanted Yoshi! Either way, Yoshi's in this movie and doesn't do anything. I just thought I had to compare these two because I know this image right here is pretty blurry, but I like my Yoshi. You then get this incredibly dated shot of the Twin Towers being partially destroyed. Yeah, they did not future-proof this movie, I'll tell you that. So Mario has to use his Riz to get back the gemstone, or the tooth, whatever the hell it is, from Big Bertha. And I'm not even joking, other than the fact she punches him in the face, it works, because Mario he's got that Riz, I'll tell you that. Like, I'm not joking. Apparently, he is incredibly sexy. Ugh. Well, in case you're wondering, this is what the former king, by the way, I don't know why there's a king in New York. Apparently there was, and seriously, it looks disgusting. Like, have you seen a mushroom in the Mario games? They don't look like this. What are you guys thinking? Why is it so disgusting? We then get the most important scene in the movie.
Python Pizza here, may I help you?
King Koopa here.
Oh, yes, sir.
I'd like the Koopa special.
Pterodactyl tail on that?
Yes. Dino, lizard, hold the mammal, no worms, and spicy.
Yeah, that was a great joke, and keep in mind, that joke was so great, they keep bringing it back over and over again. They recite it 4 times. It's not funny! So an hour and 6 minutes into the movie, Mario and Luigi get some resemblance to their game counterpart? Not really, because that's not what the outfits look like. Why it takes so long for them to wear that outfits? I have no idea. So in this scene, Mario is scared of jumping across the chasm. Keep in mind, Mario is scared of jumping. The character's original name was Jumpman is scared of jumping. I am not joking. I cannot believe it. They actually got the enemy right. They got a Mario character that actually looks what it's supposed to look like. It's not some weird guy with a bad haircut or some woman who's supposed to be a fish or some other weird thing like that, like a random Mario 3 enemy that's now a random dude or some bullshit like that. It's a straight-on ba-bomb. No excuses, no questions. There you go. So Mario decides in order to defeat King Koopa here, he's going to use one of the only enemies that actually looks like the character it's supposed to represent. That being the bomb. So yeah, Aunt Petunia, Harry Potter's aunt's a character in this movie, and she wants to defront Koopa, but she just dies immediately as soon as she tries to, or something like that. In a pretty horrific way. Like, geez, that was some scars, some kids. Any kids who are fortunate enough to watch this movie. So Mario outsmarts Koopa, but the worlds merge. Well, just Mario and Koopa seem to go there for this really bad dissolve effect that doesn't look good at all. So yeah, King Koopa's in the real world now. What if Mario was in the real world? It uses a super scope to make a man a chimpanzee, because that's how evolution works. Totally not different species here. No, they're the same species.
Monkey!
He then uses the super scope on Mario, but Mario trusts his mushrooms now. And of course, mushrooms grow big. They're supposed to make the person grow big, not the mushroom itself. Come on, guys. I assume that they're going to be listening to me. This movie's older than me. I don't know why I expect the people making this movie to know what I'm talking about. So, yeah, Bowser gets defeated by, I don't even know how. He gets merged back into the other world, and then he turns back into a T-Rex, I guess, or something like that. It looks awful, like, really bad. Like, this looks terrible. They shoot shit at him, and, yeah, he turns to goop. So I guess Mario and Luigi saved an entire alternate universe, or something like that, by easily defeating a guy who really shouldn't be that hard to defeat, because he kind of sucks. And they immediately paint his face over because they hate him that much. Oh, and the Mushroom King comes back to life and gets one of the worst line reads of all time.
I'm back. Love those plumbers.
So, Luigi has to say goodbye to his love interest, because she is a dinosaur. She decides to stay there. And Mario's just creepily watching them. But I guess he doesn't want to be a creep, but he can't help himself looking. And yeah, that's how this movie ends. Or does it? Because, as it turns out, like a year later, there is, I'm not joking, a sequel push. And I think everyone knows this one because it's so infamous that the fact they thought they were going to make a sequel, but they didn't, because the movie bombed at the box office. There was something really funny about it. The fact that they were so confident they were going to get a sequel. I mean, it makes sense because Mario is really big, but, you know, that never happened because the movie sucked. And that was the Mario movie from 1993, the Super Mario Bros. Movie. It is okay, to be honest. It's not the worst movie in the world, but definitely could have been a lot better. The really bad pseudoscience and the fact that King Koopa is such a lame villain makes it really lame. Well, the effects and the acting isn't terrible. Even though apparently the cast had a terrible time on set. According to interviews, Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo got drunk constantly. And Dennis Hopper, who is a good actor, but he does a terrible job in the movie, probably because he knew the movie was shit, just phones in one of the worst performances of any character of all time. And on top of that, it's a really bad Mario adaptation. It's one of those things where if you're going to change something that much, you might as well make their own thing. If you can't make a movie off a property, then don't waste your time. That's kind of what the whole lesson is. The big thing to take away from the movie was that Nintendo, who was kind of new to being this big as a video game industry, even though they were a really old company. But yeah, they decided that they had want nothing to do with external people working on their projects, and they wouldn't allow an official property to make a movie off their games until 2023. I don't count Pokemon because Pokemon is co-owned by them, if that makes any sense. But yeah, so it took them like over 20 years for them to even consider going back to Hollywood, despite the fact that their franchises are some of the most famous things of all time, including Mario. Which, of course, when they redid Mario, it made $1 billion because at that time it was actually like it was Mario, you know, Mario. Yeah, let's go to the rating. Despite all my bashing, I thought it was entertaining at least, and wasn't terribly paced. Other than like some of the bad flaws it has, it's not terrible, so I rated it a 3 out of 5 or a 6 out of 10. It's a little generous. It might be a 5. I'm not sure actually. When I was going back through, I think it went to a 2.5. Sometimes you gotta think about your reviews before you post them. That's why I wait a little bit before I do my reviews sometimes. Make sure you donate to the Canada Desi Toys and Games Patreon so they can afford some pizza over there and keep the lights on. Thank you so much for watching this video.